So, Mr. Jerome Powell from the Federal Reserve spoke today, guys. We got some news about the economy, interest rates, what his thoughts are on inflation, and the stock market. I'm sure you guys saw, ended up doing very well today. In fact, SPY now is at the top of the channel, about $2 away from all-time highs. And Triple Q, let me pull this up and see very quickly, guys. Let's see how this is looking. We're about $3 from all-time highs. And just like SPY, Triple Q is also at the top of this channel. So we're going to break down what's going on with Powell, the Federal Reserve, and we'll break down the charts here on the indexes and some stocks I'm looking at right now. So guys, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe. It really helps me out overall in the algorithm. And if you want some free money, hey, check out that Moomoo link down below. Up to 15 stocks with at least a $100 deposit, and your uninvested cash will earn 8.1% APY right now. So again, use that link down below or go to stocks-surfest.com/Moomoo. And with that being said, cheers, guys. Let's get into it and talk about what in the world is going on right now. So again, stocks did very well today. Dow went up 0.4%. The S&P up about 0.7%. As we had, let me see here, the NASDAQ up over 1%. And the VIX, the volatility index, went down yet again. You guys can see here the VIX went down to 1185 on the low of the day, guys, which is pretty beaten down. If you guys take a look at the historic trend of the VIX, I mean, we're obviously very low, or we're not going to get into that in this video. And the markets ran for a reason, right? Let's break that down, and let me actually straighten this camera. My OCD is freaking getting me right now, guys. There we go. That's a little bit more center. Maybe not. I don't know. Either way, let me pull up this article from CNBC. We'll break this down and kind of go over what's going on now with Powell, the interest rates, inflation, yada, 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 yada. So let me see. You guys can see the headline here. Powell says the Fed has made quite a bit of progress. And by the way, guys, I kind of already read this. I'm sure you all know what's going on. It's a lot of the same crap we've been hearing, let's be honest. But we're still going to talk about it. Hey, why not? So Powell says Fed has made quite a bit of progress on inflation, but needs more confidence before cutting. So, of course, he's not just going to come out and be like, yep, we're cutting rates today, by 0.25%, and then we're going to do it again next month, and then we're going to start cutting, 0.5%. He's not going to be super aggressive with cuts, obviously, because he doesn't want inflation to surge back up. So coming down here a little bit, there's good old Jerome Powell. Look at that guy, man. There we go. And his days are probably numbered, let's be honest. If Trump gets into office, say goodbye, Jerome Powell. We're going to get somebody else, but we'll see how that goes, guys. We're not going to break down politics in this video, but we can see here Jerome Powell expressed satisfaction Tuesday with the progress on inflation over the past year, but said he wants to see more before being confident enough to start cutting rates. He said, "We've made quite a bit of progress in bringing inflation back down to our target," and he said the last inflation reading and the one before it, to a lesser extent, suggest that we are getting back on the disinflationary path, which is really, really good news, guys, considering, I mean, inflation, the CPI, whether you believe it or not, whatever, it was 9.5 or 3% at the peak. Now we're at about 3%, right? Something like that, which is good. We've made progress, right? And he said we want to be more confident that inflation is moving sustainably down toward 2% before we start the process of reducing or loosening policy. So that's good. We don't want him to prematurely cut rates, the Fed to do that. That would be a bad thing, right? And you can see here, ignore all these ads on the right, guys. I'm not sure what the heck this is saying on the right here, but either way, the Commerce Department's personal consumption Expenditures Price Index, the PCE, which the Fed focuses on as its main inflation gauge, rose at 2.6%, 12-month pace in May, and that level comes down steadily after being around 4% a year ago, which you guys can see that. That's pretty good. And let's see what else Powell said. While Powell said he sees progress on inflation, yada, 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 he doesn't want to move too soon and threaten the downward path of price increases, which hit their highest pace since the early 1980s 2 years ago. So again, a lot of the same crap, but essentially rate cuts are coming at some point. Nobody's denying that, but he doesn't want to prematurely cut rates, which it makes sense. We've talked about this time and time again before, and this is good. I mean, this is actually good news. We don't want an economy where rates are going from 0% to 3% to 5%, back down to 3%, up to 5% again, whatever. We want more stable, predictable rates for a little bit of time, and that's kind of what we're getting right now. I can't complain about it. I'm not complaining. It's great, right? We're getting those juicy yields on the high yield savings accounts, money market funds. It's all looking good, man. And yeah, enjoy that while it lasts, because when they start cutting rates, of course, those yields are going to come down. We'll talk more about that in another video. But for now, guys, that is the main part in terms of the Fed, kind of what's going on there. Nothing too crazy. Now, let me show you some stocks that I'm looking at in real time right now. Obviously, we had Tesla go up 10% on the day. Be very careful. I believe this could be a trap. I mean, sure, if you bought it under 200, way under 180, you're looking great. You're golden. Even if you bought it at 200, 210, whatever, you're in the green right now. I would consider locking in profits. No one ever went broke locking in profits, especially if it's a trade, really only if it's a trade. If you're in it long term, you want to hold for a couple of years, by all means. I'm just talking in the short term here. I think this could be a trap ahead of earnings. I could be wrong. I don't know. But Tesla is at the top of the channel. Keep your eyes on that. Of course, we had Rivian and Nikola move today. We're not going to get into those in this video, but we also had AMD. Look at this. AMD went to $164 per share, up over 4% on the day, and I'm hype. I caught it actually today before it ran for the second half of the day. I actually caught this stock, I think, on this dip right here. I bought it at about 160, or maybe it was after. Either way, I added to my AMD position today. It was definitely at about 159.80 to 160, right in that ballpark. I forget the exact price, but this is a stock that I've been accumulating over the last couple of weeks at about 155, 160, that range. And now we're finally starting to see some momentum into the mid 160s. But guys, in my opinion, this is just the start of the move, right? Sure, it might come down a little bit more, whatever. It might chop around in the 160s, but ultimately I see it going towards 200, even over that price. So AMD I'm liking. I'm in that one. I'm long. Lululemon's also one that I'm watching super closely. I'm so close to buying some shares of Lululemon. If you guys look at the S&P 500 stocks that have underperformed big time and actually have gone red, I think Lulu is one of the worst performing S&P stocks this year. Definitely in the top 5, top 10. I think it's down like 40% year to date. And I'm actually noticing a bullish divergence. Look at this down here, right? You guys see RSI is strengthening, right? You see this down here. And at the same time, we're still making lower lows, lower highs on the charts. So we're arguably bottoming a bit here at about 295, 300, right? You guys see that support. We have the bullish divergence. We're looking pretty good there. Now let's see if we do something like this. And mind you, we're not showing any signs of a bounce, a huge bounce, or reversal quite yet. All I'm seeing are the early signs that it could be coming, right? The chart isn't confirming it yet, but again, we're noticing the bottom at about 295. So I guess it's confirming it a little bit, but not the full breakout. And like I said, the RSI, we're noticing a bullish divergence. So Lululemon, I'm actually liking here. I'm not in it, but I'm very close to buying some shares. Let's see. What else ended up moving today? It looks like we had GameStop. I'm tired of talking about GameStop, guys. ARM Holdings. Let's pull that one up. ARM Holdings looks a little wonky on the chart. It looks like we have a wedge, so I'd be careful here. We do look like we could be breaking out, though. Maybe if we build on top of the gains from today. It looks like ARM ended up going up around 3% on the day. Let's see if we can take out the mid-high 160s, maybe do something like that. And let me get some water real quick, guys. Yeah, let's see if we can do that. I'll set my alert at $165 per share. 165. Excuse me, guys. Oh, man. And let's see. Let's see what else. Looks like we had some big tech movers today. We had Amazon do its thing. It cracked over 200. Let's freaking go, guys. I called this thing out a couple weeks ago, man. Honestly, even back in 2023 when I was buying it, I knew at some point it was going to go to 200. And when it was at 80, 90 bucks, man, 100 bucks, it was a freaking steal. I was loading the boat, and I recently bought more at 175 right in this pocket right here. And now we're breaking out. I think we're going a lot higher on Amazon. Google, let's pull this one up. It looks like this is also bouncing off a big support at about 183, popping towards the mid-high 180s again. This is great news for Google. So, man, a lot of these stocks, man, they're crushing it. I'm long. And, yeah, Google and Amazon have really played out well for me. Again, I've been buying these. Amazon's a newer position compared to Google. I've owned Google for years, but Amazon I bought in 2023, and man, I'm glad I did that. And I think AMD could be, breaking out as well. I mean, AMD's forward P now is about a 45, which arguably is a bit high, but I think their growth is going to surprise the markets, and they're only getting more profitable, guys. Hey, I think AMD is a sleeper pick in the AI space right now. I think 200 is easy on AMD. I could be wrong. I don't know. The market cap's like $250 billion. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to check out the Patreon, guys, for my private portfolio plus more. That's linked down below. Or go to StockSurfS.com/Patreon and get up to 15 stocks for a moo with at least a $100 deposit. Use that link down below or go to StockSurfS.com/moo, and your uninvested cash for a short period of time will earn 8.1% APY, which, guys, it's a no-brainer. So come on, use that link, get your money. And of course, that is an affiliate link. It helps out the channel. I appreciate you guys as always. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you in the next video.